What's that?
So, if you're an NFL fan or just love a good meme, I'm pretty sure you've seen this rant before.
Playoffs?
Playoffs? Playoffs?
You kidding me? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? Playoffs?
It's one of those clips that you have to hear and see to fully appreciate how hilariously bad it is. But the real significance to that press conference has been lost to history. For one thing, it created a rift between Mora and one of the greatest players of all time.
It's kind of directed to the quarterback position, and that's the position that I play.
The year was 1998, and newly hired Colts head coach Jim Mora had just inherited a team that had gone 3-13 the previous season. But on the bright side, they had the first overall pick in that year's draft.
Welcome back to New York. We are eagerly anticipating the start of what may go down in history when we look back 10 years from now as the high watermark draft of the entire decade of the 90s. The Indianapolis Colts have been, which quarterback do they go with? Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf.
With the first pick of the draft, the Indianapolis Colts select quarterback, University of Tennessee, Peyton Manning.
And here he is, the new quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, Peyton Manning.
Mora and Manning had a rocky relationship at first, as Mora, a former Marine, was a tough defensive-minded coach who preferred a more conservative and balanced offense, while Manning was a prolific passer who liked to run a fast-paced and aggressive offense. The Colts struggled in their first season under Mora and Peyton, finishing 3-13 for a second year in a row. However, the following season would prove that this wasn't the same team from last year. They improved to a remarkable 13-3, the greatest turnaround in NFL history, all while making the playoffs for the first time since 1996.
Two young teams out on the field today, each team 13-3 on the regular season. There's a look at Jim Mora, 0-4 in the postseason, and he will send Peyton Manning and his offense onto the field.
The Colts were eliminated by the Tennessee Titans, who would go on to reach the Super Bowl that year. The following year, the Colts regressed to a 10-6 record. The Colts' defense didn't help much that year either, ranking 21st in points allowed and 25th in yards allowed. And seeing how Mora was a defensive-minded coach, that doesn't usually go well with the guys upstairs. So, hoping to bounce back from last season's regression, the Colts would start 2-0 the following year. But the wheels would soon come off in Week 3, as they lost to a young Patriots quarterback named Tom Brady, who was making his first career start. Brady's Patriots waxed Indy 44-13. And 3 weeks later, they did it again, beating the Colts 38-17. Also, in Week 7, their star Colts running back Edgerrin James, who had led the NFL in rushing the previous 2 seasons, tore his ACL. And in Week 10, Indy lost by 2 touchdowns to the Saints, the team Mora had previously coached for 11 years.
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first
So as the
down.
Colts prepared for the Week 11 game against the San Francisco 49ers, they had lost 5 of their past 7, leaving them with a 4-5 record that put them at risk of missing the,
playoffs.
But by this point of the season, the blame game was already in full effect. Colts general manager Bill Polian pinned Indy's issues primarily on defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. But Fangio was a good friend of Mora's, and Mora was loyal. According to media members who covered the team at the time, Mora felt Polian refused to acknowledge that Manning, the Golden Boy QB, who was in his 4th NFL season, was not playing well. At that time, Manning was seen as the guy who couldn't win big games. All of this infighting was the backdrop as the Colts got ready for the 49ers, who at the time were 8-2, led by quarterback Jeff Garcia and wide receiver Terrell Owens. And in this crucial game, with the 4-5 Colts trying to keep their postseason hopes alive, Manning threw 4 interceptions, including a third-quarter pick 6 that gave the 49ers back a lead they would keep. And he did it against a defense coached by Jim Mora Jr., who was awarded the game ball after the win. The Colts would lose 40-21, dropping to 4-6 and virtually ending their playoff hopes. Manning's meltdown seemed to vindicate Mora's diagnosis of the team, and Mora's son got the better of his father. So with all of these fresh emotions and feelings after the game, all of this would come to a head during the now infamous post-game interview.
Well, I'll start off by saying this. Do not blame that game on the defense, okay? I don't care who you play. whether it's a high school team, a junior college team, a college team, much less an NFL team, when you turn the ball over 5 times, 4 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, 3 others in field position to set up touchdowns, you ain't gonna beat anybody I just talked about. Anybody. You can't turn the ball over 5 times like that. Holy crap. I don't know who the hell we think we are when we do something like that. Unbelievable. 5 turnovers. One of them, we've thrown 4 interceptions for touchdowns this year. That might be an NFL record. Hell, we still got 6 games to 5. Well, we still got 6 games to play. No telling what might happen. I don't know. All I know is we threw 4 interceptions and fumbled once. 1 interception they returned for a touchdown. 3 others were in our end of the field where they scored points. That's all I know. That's inexcusable. Inexcusable. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
When Mora's press conference ended, he walked off to his right and asked the Indianapolis Star columnist Bob Kravitz if he had a minute to speak to him privately. After cooling down, Mora was concerned about how his outburst would be perceived, not the playoffs line, but specifically about the dynamic between himself, Polian, and Fangio, and Peyton Manning to a certain degree. Mora's outburst seemed to signal the clear frustrations between the head coach and general manager, with Manning caught in the middle. That, at the time, was the story, not the
playoffs.
Despite taking full responsibility for the loss during his own media availability, Manning wasn't pleased with his head coach.
It's kind of directed to the quarterback position, and that's the position that I play. So, hey, I can handle it.
Coach wants to correct me and yell at me. I have absolutely no problem with that. I can take it. I have thick skin. That's not fun as a leader now to be called out in front of the whole country. You know, where that press conference is going to be replayed over and over and over again from the whole country. That bothers me. It really does. I tell you, the ironic thing about this whole thing is that I'm playing for his job. I want him to be the head coach.
Mora immediately backtracked from his rant, saying that he loved Peyton and wouldn't trade him for any quarterback in the world. But there was no saving it at this point. The damage was already done. Mora's rant would mark the end of his tenure with the Colts, as he was fired after the season with the Colts finishing 6-10. What's crazy, though, is that even after all of the drama and a 6-10 4th place AFC East finish, he apparently could have kept his job as the Colts head coach.
You kidding me?
Mora claimed that he was given the opportunity by Bill Polian to remain head coach at the end of the season, but only if he fired Fangio. Being loyal to a fault, he refused, and both of them got their pink slips.
The GM of the Colts called me in a few days after the season was over, and he said, "I would like you to fire Vic Fangio." And he said, "What?" I said, "What?" I said, "I can't hire Vic. He's a great coach." He said, "I want you to fire him." I said, "Well, I'm not going to fire him." And he says, "Well, if you can't fire him, then we need to fire you." I said, "Fire me. I'm not firing Vic Fangio. Not because I knew him well, not because he was a good friend, because he was the best coach we could be for this football team."
Fangio, just 43 years old at the time of he and Mora's termination, went on to run many other NFL defenses and is currently the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Meanwhile, in a sport where coaches get hired and fired repeatedly, Mora never found a job again and ultimately never won a single playoff game. And for the Colts, they went on to hire Tony Dungy as their new head coach in 2022, and he led them to a Super Bowl victory in 2006.
Of Indianapolis wins.
Retired in 2016 and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021. So, as we look back at the infamous rant, maybe Jim Mora deserves a thank you. There's no telling that whether standing up for a friend and in the process tossing the greatest professional athlete in Indianapolis history under the bus put the Colts on the path to becoming a championship franchise. But it certainly didn't hurt. Regardless, while others may remember Mora solely for his viral rant, I choose to remember him as a good, loyal man and a solid coach whose selfless decision may have positively altered the destiny of the Indianapolis Colts forever.
I don't know, it's turned into something a little bit crazy. So, and I'm not as embarrassed about, if somebody asked me to say that, you know what I said? If somebody I didn't even know Or if they text me and said, say it for my son or something like that, I'll do it. Basically, I wouldn't have done it 5 years ago. I'll do it now. I kind of, have fun with it. What the heck?
Playoffs?